Welcome to a series of podcasts discussing series of films.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
In a world inundated with prequels, sequels, spin-offs, and reboots, we ask the question,
do we need one more? I think we do.
I think we don't.
Matt,
Yes?
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Goddamn right he did.
That's how I've decided to open this one, so...
Thank you. For the people who are listening, he told me he was going to quote the movie, but he didn't tell me what, and you picked the perfect line.
Yeah, it's the one that got the biggest reaction from me and Abby, because she watched this one with me. And we both were like, why? Who's he talking to?
It's just for him.
It's for him.
He's just having a good time.
Because he's a theater kid deep down, Ethan Hunt.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. For those of you who don't, maybe clicked on the wrong episode, this is Mission Impossible 3 of We Need One More. Yeah.
Directed by J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams.
This is his first movie.
I wonder if he did anything else after this. I don't know.
What I was going to say somehow J.J. Abrams returned, but I couldn't find a way to work it in there.
I think that works. Housekeeping up top.
Yes.
We have a Discord for those of you who want to follow along and tell us your thoughts, maybe share your letterboxes. Matt, where can we find that?
We can find that on Discord. The server is at WNOM Podcast. And it's kind of just a place for us to hang out and talk about the movies that we're watching, the movies we're going to be watching. And, ultimately, we did this because we wanted to have fun, and we also wanted to talk about movies and have a community. So,
So join us over there, see what's going on.
But yeah, so be sure to follow us on the Discord at We Need One More Podcast, just because we want to hang out.
And let us, just give us your thoughts. We'll start reading off what people think, once people join. So
we'd also love to know, but just before we get into the episode, maybe movies that you guys want us to cover or talk about. Like, any ideas are open, any series is open. We have some exciting stuff, in the later part of the year as we continue on with the show, but we want to hear what people think.
Yes, we need to hear from the people.
That's true. Only good things.
Only good things.
Don't say anything negative
about me, my hairline, or anything else.
You can say you can be negative to me if you want. It's
okay. I thought you were gonna just circle back on my hairline. I was like, oh.
Absolutely not. No, but yeah, join us there so we can talk about movies like today, where we're talking about Mission Impossible 3.
Yes.
As we said, J.J. Abrams' first film.
First film. He had the highest budget for a first-time filmmaker, $150 million.
That's
nuts.
That's mid-budget Marvel money now, baby.
I know, it's like nothing now. They're just like, oh, really?
150. Right. For catering, right?
For catering, yeah.
Yeah.
For the chef. The actors are like, that's like one hair person on the...
I will say, it's kind of crazy to me how, Abrams is a guy that, as of recently, a lot of people have maybe hot takes or controversial takes on.
Yes.
I think ultimately, while, he has some isms, we'll use an acting term, he has some isms that I'm sure we're going to get into because they are prevalent here.
Lens flares.
Lens flares, the mystery box thing is, I mean, it's from the get-go, the mystery box is in this one.
He's a big fan of that. Yeah.
But he does come out oddly, kind of fully formed.
Yeah, he pretty much knows what he's trying to do. I mean,
obviously, he's been working in TV.
Yes.
But...
because he did Felicity and Alias.
And Lost.
Yeah, that's right, Lost. That's the big one. Do you know that pilot was so expensive that the guy who greenlit it got fired when they found out how expensive that was?
I have heard that story. That poor... especially because Lost became such a massive show.
I know. I hope he got his job back or he got a better one,
I hope. Hey, well, I wonder where he's at. If you're listening, let us know what happened.
Yeah, his name was Kevin Feige.
Oh shit! He just had rage.
I don't know if it's Kevin Feige. Don't quote me on that.
No.
That was a bit. That's my ism. It's just to make up shit.
Hey, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, he oddly comes out like his style. You know, obviously a lot of his go-to actors are all in this movie. They're throughout this
We
movie.
got Carrie Russell.
Greg Gunfield. Gunberg.
Oh, who's that?
Oh my god, I can't remember his name. He's at the dinner party. He's an X-wing pilot in Star Wars. He shows up in Episode 7.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
who you're
Greg
talking about.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe
Let's see here.
I'm forgetting his name.
Eddie Morrison. Michael Berry. Nope, that's a kidnapper.
He's way.
Oh, Greg Gunberg?
Yeah,
Is it
Greg
Kevin?
Gunberg. That's him. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember
yeah.
this guy in the movie already.
He pops up in a bunch of stuff. He's one of Abrams' guys.
Oh yeah, it looks like he was on Alias. That makes sense.
And yeah, Carrie Russell, obviously.
Carrie Russell.
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul's in it?
In this movie.
Which I did not remember.
Crazy that he just appears and has like 2 scenes.
He's got 2 lines. He leads them to the bad guys.
Yeah, Simon Pegg is
or
kind
leads
of
the bad guys to the good guys.
one of Abrams' guys. Simon Pegg is in a lot of his movies.
I mean, I think Simon Pegg is one of the best additions.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to get.
I mean, it's like every
Benji.
time they do a new movie, they get like a new person that's just like keep that.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. But yeah, I think talking about like last week we talked about 2 where they go from an iconic filmmaker with Brian De Palma to another iconic filmmaker with John Woo
To a complete unknown.
I
guess he's not a complete unknown. I feel like people knew him from TV.
He's
to a degree.
He's known mostly as a writer, I think, is the whole thing at the time, right? When he comes out and he's directing, it's like, what? Like Tom Cruise
Yeah,
picked
it's like wild.
a random guy to...
Yeah, I was watching some behind the scenes stuff, and I guess Tom Cruise literally just while setting up pre-production of this movie, he was just like, he was wrapping up late one night, and to decompress, he would watch Alias.
That's awesome.
And then he was just like, that guy, get me that guy.
Well, honestly, good instinct.
Like, no, it's a great instinct.
For, again, whatever you have to say about Abrams, like, he is a very successful filmmaker. He is a talented filmmaker.
He is.
He's really good with actors. I think.
I don't think that's a hot take or a controversial one. He's good at his job.
It's hard to tell on the internet nowadays.
It is.
Where,
I know
like,
people are probably gonna like come at me for that, but
there are accomplished people that people are like, by the way, that person is a hack, and it's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, writing choices aside, and like studio pressure, like all that, like all that, like studio politics stuff. Like he is like good at his job. Like there's no way to get around that. Like this is good. Super 8's good. I like the Star Trek movies.
I like this. I haven't revisited Star Trek movies in a while, and I wasn't a big fan like of Star Trek growing up, so I don't know if I have the most base, but like as someone who is like on the outside watching them, I enjoyed them. But yeah, I mean, Abrams comes in and kind of, in a way, kind of brings the series back. Woo, no diss to him. Mission Impossible 2 does not work. People don't like it.
For most people, I would say.
Yes.
It makes enough money to let's do one more.
Yeah, it's not completely unjustified.
No.
To do Mission Impossible 3.
No, but it is like what are we doing? I think the budget, is it lower than the second one? Let me check my notes here. No, it's actually higher. They got $25 million.
Good for them.
For this one. So,
but yeah, I
clearly
think
they didn't screw up that much. If they're like, yeah, we'll give you more money.
Yeah, we'll give you a little bit more. Also, Tom is
and a first-time director. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
biggie.
Tom is such a he is a filmmaker in his own right. Like
basically,
while he's not directing, obviously has a long history of producing now. But like while he doesn't direct, he has a vision, and I'm sure by this point is like, I know what I like about this series, like what I want to keep doing and what I don't want to keep doing.
Yeah.
And what I want to evolve or whatever. And this is not my favorite Mission Impossible movie. This is actually I think it's my like second to last.
We'll go ahead, Sam.
But that isn't me saying that the movie is bad. I think the movie is quite entertaining.
I think this one just gets screwed over that like from this point, they just keep getting better.
Yeah.
Especially with the next one, it kicks up like a significantly
100%,
like a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's like this one is like great on its own, but then like, and I think it was like definitely like you could like, if you went like 1's my favorite or 3's my favorite, like it was like as long as it was ranked above 2, you were like in the clear. But then like starting with 4, like these start to get like really good
like
in a way that like I don't think anyone thought was possible.
I can't believe I'm referencing this. It's like the Shaq meme where he's on Hot Ones and you see the hot sauce kick in when he like looks to the camera. Like that's the jump to 4 where you're like, wait a second.
It's like you can't do that.
But I think
is supposed to die here. No. And this is like in the like thick of like, do we need more Tom Cruise anything? Like I think this is like right on the heels of War of the Worlds, which and some Oprah sofa jumping. I think
some
maybe,
Oprah stuff, a Matt Lauer interview. There's Cruise is kind of
he's finding himself into some weird
in a little bit of a
situations.
spiral for a sec. Like he's getting into some hot water, and kind of people are kind of turning away from him, and that is something that they really I think is prevalent in the next movie, which we'll get into next week. But we're we're near the point where he's yet to fall by any means, but we're coming around the corner.
Yeah, I feel like weirdly, because I don't know where this is in like relationship to like all the things we just listed, but it's like funny that like the second one is like, look at him, he's got perfect hair, he's the coolest guy, he can beat anyone, and he can seduce anyone. And this one, they're like, he's a stable man, he makes good decisions.
I think a lot of this movie is what it's trying to do. You're 100% right. I had the same thought where it's like, I think the movie is trying to bring Ethan back down to earth.
A little bit, yeah. Like, he's like on the moon in the last one.
Yeah, in 2, I mean, it's, and I say this with like partial love with like some of the action sequences. I mean, he's like flipping over fire and like driving motorcycles into car, like, you know what I mean? Like
we're jousting motorcycles, jumping through doves in
slow
motion.
Like, we've gone,
he's quoting Less Than Mohicans as he dives through a wall.
Yeah, it's this crazy extra dramatized thing, which Woo does well, and it's not a diss to John Woo style at all.
No, it's not.
But I think it feels very much like they're like, okay, Ethan needs to be a guy again. He needs to be someone you can kind of relate to.
Yeah.
In a way,
they're
which
like,
I find interesting.
Getting married.
Yeah, the marriage thing is a crazy turn. I think it works. That's not me saying I think it's bad. But I will say, I mean, before we fully jump into the plot, and obviously this is a scene that comes up later, we should reference, while maybe this is not the best Mission Impossible movie, this might be the best Mission Impossible opening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The cold open for this is incredible.
Unbelievable.
Phillip Seymour Hoffman also still might be one of the best villains.
He's probably the best, if not, I would say maybe the second best.
Yeah, it's like, I think it just comes down to like,
we
have some later villains that come back, and like,
sure,
you're gonna have to be a particularly good villain to survive one of these.
Well, Hoffman is such a, and since it's the first scene in this, like, let's just get into it. Like, there's not a ton to Owen Davian, like, as a character.
No, but he's kind of got that like Joker, like Heath Ledger Joker of like, do not mess with this guy.
Well, I think what's great about it too is that Hoffman is not trying to show you that he's evil. He's just like, listen, like, this is my job.
He's just like a dude, like a businessman.
When he's saying like, when he's threatening Ethan about Julia and all that stuff, I'm going to get her, I'm going to hurt her, all that stuff. He's not doing it to try to like, or at least he's not like targeting it specifically.
Aren't even threats. He's just like, this is my 5-year plan.
This is the way that this
make
goes.
You miserable.
You don't know who I am. Let me tell you what I'm prepared to do, kind of a thing.
Terrifying. Terrifying, man.
I use the word, and this is kind of a silly word to use, but I used the word aura when I was looking at, he's just riding off his aura. Like, he's just so, he feels like a guy, like Hoffman's performance, he's playing him as the guy who, like, I walk into a room and people know that I'm fucking in there.
Yeah. Oh God, he's so scary and cool in this movie. Like, I mean, Phillip Seymour Hoffman is just like he is probably one of the greatest actors to ever
100%
do it. Like, he's certainly in the conversation for top 10.
100%. He's certainly one of the most iconic actors of like the last 20. Phillip Seymour Hoffman is amazing. He's amazing in this. He's amazing in, I mean, insert name of movie. Have you seen The Master? I have seen bits from The Master, but I've seen his bits, and
dude just bodies that movie.
Yeah, it like the moment where I wrote it down, like the moment where he's like, it's not in Paris, like the way he just
like, I know,
tosses that,
don't lie to me,
it's like, yeah, this guy's like, don't fuck with me, man, like let's just give me what you want. Like, he's like, why are you making this hard, is basically this scene. And Cruise is also, I've heard someone characterize this as like, Cruise is basically playing through every intent that you could. Yeah, it's like a good, like, if you're learning acting, you could like use this as like the scene of like, you can like see when he's shifting. Actions and objections, like, and like go like, or objectives, like just the way he's like, that didn't work, switch. He's like freaking out, threatening, he's negotiating, he's begging, like he's just doing like everything that an actor would do, like in rehearsal. Yeah, it's such a perfect, and something, you know, like someone's life's on the line. Yeah, exactly. And then we go, obviously we end with 10, and the gunshot crew shouts no. We
And
jump
then
into the
dun, 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 dun.
whenever that theme plays,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm watching the greatest movie ever made. Like,
Pretty
it's
much
the music
it's
is
so,
so
hype whenever
perfect.
it clicks in. And we got the score by Michael Giacchino this time.
That's right. He's popping on. I mean, now
Of The
legendary.
Incredibles and Batman. Like,
Yeah, the Batman. He's doing his Fantastic Four theme. Obviously, we just talked about those
be good.
movies. That theme rules. It's incredible. The Doctor Strange theme, I know we've talked about, is so
it's
good.
Like, okay. Thoughts. Okay, I didn't really take a moment to talk about the Doctor Strange theme. Not what you hear in the movie, but when the end credits like click and they're doing some like sitar
Yeah,
kind of thing. I'm like, oh, where was that the whole movie?
it's such a good theme. I like
Missed
his
opportunity, in my opinion.
his Spider-Man theme is good. Like, yeah, he's just great. It's
It
nice
is.
to see him
He's
in this.
his
He's in
Star
the
Trek
next
theme
one.
is really good. Yeah, he does the next one.
He does the next one. It's nice to start this opening and be like, we're back. It's kind of how it feels.
It kind of does. It feels like we're gonna walk it back tonally a little bit to like what people want.
Yeah.
I think, but not quite to the degree of like I can't trust anyone like energy of De Palma.
It feels like we are like the movie's everyone's on the same page, which is probably the
Yeah.
biggest issue with 2, is that it's hard to tell if
It's
everybody's
kind of
on
hard.
the same page.
Yeah, it's kind of tell if everyone's getting along or not.
Yeah, and then we get into Tom Cruise house, husband.
Yep.
It's so funny to see him like do like chats. Like,
yeah, like,
he's
let's
such
do-
an intense actor.
Let's do. How's the weather?
Yeah, like to see him talk about, obviously it's a front, but like when he's talking about, traffic patterns and he's like, yeah, you can learn a lot about traffic. He's just like really serious
He's like really
about
selling
it.
people on that.
And he's
That's
like, it's
funny.
like an organism and all this other stuff. And like people, I could see being like, dude, that guy's nice, but oh my God, that was the most intense conversation I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. All right, so plot: Mission Impossible 3 is he's gotta find the rabbit's foot.
The rabbit's foot.
Well, actually, I guess the first mission is to rescue Kerry Russell,
That's true.
his protege.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's find the rabbit's foot, basically, and stop Phillip Seymour Hoffman from
Yeah. Well, it's also that
selling
she
it.
might have information on the rabbit's foot, right? So
Yeah,
they're like,
she
we need
knows
to
something. They need to get to her.
we should maybe also just kind of knock this off the top real quick. What do you think about the rabbit's foot? And this is kind of the
Like,
mystery box
conceptually, or like
Yeah.
like as a
because I know
it's
people are
the
like
thing of,
it's not anything. Like when that's
yeah,
a
it's that
problem
thing.
to
It's
people.
it's not like anything, but it's also that fun. It kind of gives it like a Hitchcockian quality to me. And like this is the kind of the only time the mystery box works, because even at the end they sort of do that like wink, wink, like
Yeah.
we're not gonna tell you what it is, but like Simon Pegg has that like monologue of what it could be that sets it up so well that it almost doesn't really matter what it is, because like it's got biosymbols on it, so it is some kind of bioweapon.
Yeah.
It's like that thing of like, I don't know exactly what it does or how it works, but I know it could probably, it's important and will hurt people.
I agree with. I think
And it's like, so there's a function of the movie. It's just like that thing of like, it'd be nice to know exactly what it is, but it's not like you need to know what it is to have the movie work.
the Simon.
So it's like, for me here it works, and I think the way they set it up is like fun, but like I do understand the criticism of it, like
Yeah.
that it's nothing. Like
I think the Simon Pegg monologue is kind of what makes it work, to be honest.
yeah,
Like you said, and I have literally the same thing written down, that it's like the rabbit's foot is not about what it is, it's about what it could be, and that's what's threatening.
yeah,
Like, and I think the Pegg monologue is what it is, and I also think just the conceit behind these movies, that they are kind of isolated incidents, that we're
Yeah.
not having to go, the rabbit's foot doesn't stick around, you know what I mean?
No,
So
it
we're
doesn't.
not really having to answer this is where the mystery box thing kind of is able to work
Yeah, because
pretty
it's not
successfully.
like there's a thing sitting next to the Ark of the Covenant at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
like, we're not
pointing to it.
gonna-
It's just like don't worry about it.
We're not gonna like spend a lot of time. It's just like, look, this is the MacGuffin. Like, this is the thing, and like they need to get the thing. What does it do? It doesn't matter. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of the series, like, is kind of like that, where it's like it doesn't really matter what the thing is, so
Yeah,
it
but
feels
we
like
just
we're just
have
kind of
to-
leaning into it.
Yeah, it's like we just kind of have to like stop the bad guys.
I also think the name of it is pretty great.
the rabbit's foot.
The rabbit's foot. It's
I like
like
Simon
a
Pegg
good,
is like, it's either a really dangerous thing or maybe it's like an expensive bunny appendage. Like,
it's just literally just like a rabbit's foot.
it
I don't
could
know.
literally be a rabbit's foot.
But yeah, I know people have issues with that. Of it's like, well, this is Abrams doing his ism again, right? This is
Yeah,
his
I
thing.
think it's like that. This is for me like how the mystery box works. Of like, yeah, I don't need to know because it's like to me it's like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. It's like you don't.
Sure.
It'd be cool to know what it is, but like that's kind of part of the magic of it.
Yeah, the point is
Is
that
not
you
knowing.
don't know.
Yeah, and so it's like I feel like that's kind of like fun, and all you know that it's like important. So it's like the stakes of like, don't break it, don't let that guy get it. We got to get it to trade it for somebody. Like it's just like that's stressful, and I think that's like what makes the movie like really fun. But
No, I agree.
how do you feel about the action in this movie?
You know, I I think parts of it are good. I think we're in the era of the shaky cam.
We are.
And I think it's one of those things where like, and maybe this is like a hindsight thing, right? Obviously we're watching this movie like 20 years after like it's come out. I'm pretty exhausted with the shaky cam thing.
Yeah.
You know, like when we're in,
What an era.
it is effective at certain moments.
It is. I
think
like
in the helicopter stuff, I think it works just because the whole thing is
the
about Carrie
chaos
Russell
of
has a bomb in
everything.
her head and
Yeah,
all this
I
other
feel
stuff.
like the action in this is like it's solid. I
Yeah.
think it's like one of the things that's gonna get better, especially in the next one, is like the like arc and the story that's like happening in the action sequences. And in this, I don't really get like the sense. It's sort of like there's a thing, let's go get it, and then it's just people like shooting bullets like nonstop until they can have a break and shoot someone in the head. I think it's a lot of that.
This is kind of the movie where like there are stunts, like there is like the car hit or whatever is kind of like the big stunt of this movie. If we're charting right the big stunts.
Yeah.
But it's not like the movie is too preoccupied with that being the stunt. Even like the water run in the first one, despite that not being like maybe as crazy as holding onto the side of a plane, when he's running away, you know, we're in slow motion and it's this whole wide shot. We're seeing him run away and all this other stuff.
A waiter gets shot 60 feet backwards.
100%, exactly. He gets rocketed into Mission Impossible 2.
What's the big stunt in 2? Is it just all
The
of
rock
the motorcycle?
climbing.
I guess that's true. It is the rock climbing was like probably the big one. But he does ride a motorcycle without a helmet on a good chunk of that finale.
And the knife thing, like there's
that's
a couple
true.
of those.
A bunch of big stunts in that one.
Yeah.
And then there's some in this one too, like when he rappels off the building. After he
Yeah.
says probably my favorite line in the entire series.
Which line is that?
Humpty Dumpty.
Oh,
sat on the wall.
Oh, I thought you were saying about the one at night. When he jumps off.
Or no,
off the
yeah,
building.
where he's got to do like the pendulum,
Which is a
thing.
good sequence, but that is CGI. Like
Yeah.
he does do a jump, right?
He does
He's
it, but
actually
yeah, it's
jumping,
like-
but
it's
he's
like
jumping
that.
on a
I like that he does
soundstage.
like a Dark Knight-esque I'm on the roof looking kind of thing.
It's also so funny to see people be like new people come into the team and be like, who the fuck is Ethan Hunt? Like every time
Literally.
when he's like charting out like, okay, well, yeah, like what if we just come in from the roof? And like Luther's like, this shit again, man, like with the roof.
He's like literally like he starts doing math and he's like, oh, this bitch, like
Yeah.
he's gonna do something
You've got
insane.
Maggie Q and Jonathan Rhys-Meyers being like, wait, no, you can't just do that. And he's like, well, I'm
like,
sorry, you're new to the
"Watch
Mission
me."
Impossible movies. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, it's like I think it's so funny when they do that. I like the heists in this one. I think the Vatican sequence is particularly fun.
I like the Vatican sequence. I wish that it felt like more. I not that it doesn't feel like a heist, but I feel like we're more focused on it being like spy stuff.
A little,
Which
yeah.
this is a spy movie. I understand. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
And I still think it's pretty great. And yeah, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that got like a big reaction here. It's so funny because it is just like, who are you talking to, bud?
yeah. He just wants to be.
He looks at the camera like point blank and just delivers that with such like seriousness, and it's so like perfect.
Yeah. Well, this movie is oddly. We were talking off air, like we both watched this movie with both of our girlfriends, and they, you know, my girlfriend and Laura, your girlfriend Abby, they both were like, it's weird. This movie's so serious with itself, but it is objectively really silly. And the Humpty Dumpty thing is kind of a perfect example of that. That he's just like dead to camera, like Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
Like he got like when they cut, he was like, "This is mission."
And then he rappels off the wall, and then he dresses like a priest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, Tom Cruise doing like a fun Italian, like, you know, hey, what are you doing? That kind of a thing.
I think it's fun that like the first mission is not successful.
No.
Carrie Russell has one of the most brutal deaths I've ever seen.
It effect. It literally gets me every time. It's so brutal.
It's hard to anticipate the timing of that like going off.
It's honestly that's where I'm like, the shaky cam works, the chaos works, the like pacing of that whole scene I think is really, really great.
It's good.
I think that probably is the strongest action. I think for me is that whole opening sequence where they're trying to save her.
Probably. Yeah.
I love J.J. Abrams giving
she throws
her
the gun. She like.
I was just about to say he gives her like the movie star moment.
Yeah, she has like the big like cool shot.
And it rips. I love the moment when she says, "How many bullets do you have?" He says, "Enough," and he fires one bullet. I was like, that's such a like, guy thing to do.
It's like some Schwarzenegger to like let out some steam.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
And again, it's like that thing where it's like, I buy into it. He does it when he goes, "Now I'm out," and he throws the gun down. I was like, man, you're so cool.
Okay, my favorite thing in that sequence is his like red goggle things, like sun tanning
his
like, goggles.
Tom Clancy Splinter Cell glasses, which is kind of how this whole movie's kind of coded. It's very Tom Clancy, and I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I'm not sure. But it's just something that I noticed.
I take it. I mean, I think like the more they get into, especially once like McQuarrie gets on, they start to like lean into that like Jack Ryan.
I have a thought about Jack Ryan
submarines and stuff like
with the
kind
fourth
of thing.
one.
Yes, that one's got like very coded.
Yeah,
to being a little bit more Tom Clancy in a fun way.
There's someone. I won't say anything. I'll wait for the next episode. But there was a moment where I was like, oh, this is very Jack Ryan.
Incredibly, yeah.
But I think that action, all that stuff, works pretty well.
It does, yeah. It's like weird. It's like it's all competent. I feel like it's not super. I think the big problem is that it ends up kind of being not super memorable.
Yeah, again,
it's
not
like
that
great
it's
when
bad.
you're watching it. It's just that like once you walk out, like there's like other things you'd rather talk about. I think.
Yeah. I honestly, outside of the shot where Kerry Russell grabs the gun,
basically
that shot I think is fantastic.
Yeah, which I think it just kind of comes into that like it's a lot of just we're shooting bullets. Like, just like a hail of bullets and stuff. And then there's like a cool moment that happens like somewhere in there, and there's like the cool like magnet bomb he like hurls Batman style.
That is sick. Yes, you're right. I completely forgot about that one.
Like,
love that. Love Luther being back. We should say, what do we feel about the team?
The team, it's another like it's one of the weaker teams.
Yeah.
I think, but it's better than 2.
I like the actors. Maggie Q's great.
Maggie Q's great.
She's awesome.
I don't really care for Jonathan Rhys-Meyers in this.
Yeah, he's fine.
I just can't remember him doing anything super memorable. I know he's got like young, plucky energy.
Yeah.
But it's like
I'm the young guy.
I'm the young guy, and it's like every time they cut to them, I'm just like, meh. Like I don't know. Like no disrespect to these actors because I've seen them in other things where they're really great. I just they don't have enough to do, so it's just like.
Maggie Q.
To me, it's just like I don't know. You could probably get rid of that, cut that.
Maggie Q is again like we've talked about this with this series that like. Up until Ilsa, like we don't really get any female characters that have anything. They just underwrite all of them, and like
they get close in 4, I think. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're closer.
We're closer. We've still got like a whole football field.
Yes,
to do.
That it's like like Maggie Q is great, and I think she is good in this. But it's like she just kind of
she's there.
She's just there.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know what like her specialty is. Like, cause like at one point she's like she feels like a demolition expert, and then like later she's like, no, I'm like in the scene. I'm like the eye candy, and then it's just like.
It just seems like they don't know what to do with their female characters, which is a shame. Because they're casting really great actors to play them. Yeah. Like Thandie Newton, fantastic. Maggie Q, fantastic. We'll get into 4. Paula Patton. Like
it again.
But yeah, like I like the team. I don't love the team.
I don't love the team.
I still don't think we've reached the height
of Ving Rhames back for another go.
Yes,
because Ving is king.
Ving is king. We were talking off air. I watched the movie Dave for the first time. Ving Rhames is so good in that movie.
I love that movie.
He's so good.
Not because it's my name, but you know.
Yeah, fair. Hey, even if it was. But yeah, every time
the movie's named after me.
That's true.
But yeah, he's the Secret Service in that one.
Yeah, he's like the guy that protects the president.
Take a bullet for you.
Oh my god, I bawled. I literally fell into tears.
It's so good.
But yeah, Luther is probably my favorite character. He's just the best.
The best.
He shows up and instantly I'm like, let's go. Every we're in the third movie now. Every time he shows up, I write a note that's just says Luther in all caps.
I write Ving is king the minute he shows up.
Yeah, he's great.
So, but yeah, he's the best. I like that he's got like the like a coworker. Like they really feel like coworkers in this one, where it's like, hey man, like this girl, I don't know, and and then like we got married last night. He's like, congratulations.
Yeah, he's like, okay. I'm your coworker. I'm trying to support you. I guess, and yeah, I mean, I think the team is. I think a lot of the supporting cast. I think it's a really strong cast of actors.
You got Billy Crudup,
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne is so good in this. I actually wish he stuck around a little bit more.
Every time he has a line, his line of "I'll bleed on the flag to make sure the stripes stay red."
I was like, that is raw.
I need to leave the room. Like I was like, this is crazy. You are like so intense
that had me like
and perfect.
I have to like salute.
Every sentence he says, he's putting like 1,000. I mean, Fishburne. I mean, obviously, Fishburne's one of the greats.
The Matrix.
Yeah, I mean, Crudup is also, I think, very fun in this. I think I remember talking about off air a little bit about the whole kind of red herring of who's the mole. It does feel a little bit like we do fall into the Ethan's the mole again.
Yeah, it's
for
just
a second.
Like, everyone's gonna go for that.
Yeah, and
how many times is man gonna be accused of being a mole before y'all believe he's like here to save the earth?
Yeah, and then it's like, oh well, we think it's this person, but it's actually this other person, like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I'm
hoping in the next in the final reckoning, Shea Wiggum just being like, how many times is this man gonna be accused of going?
Yeah, he's just
being a bad guy and he ain't the bad guy.
It clicks for him and he's like, wait a second.
Okay. I just read through this file. This man's been accused 3 different times, and 3 different times that was wrong.
Yeah, maybe we should stop pointing the finger at him.
Maybe we should just join him. Just give him the full support of the.
As he says, does he say he's like a shape-shifting, sidewinding vampire or something? Like he just says the craziest
He might
shit.
have. I don't know. We're gonna have to do. Look at the. When we get to the end of these, we're gonna have to rank all of the descriptions of Ethan, the Manifest of Destiny, and that.
Oh yeah. I mean, that might be the best one, just because it's like the first one, the living manifestation of destiny.
That's a lot of sauce to throw a man's way.
It's crazy. I've never seen someone just lift it up more than that.
I know.
Sentence.
Damn, you're like.
But yeah, Fishburne is great. I agree. It is kind of a bummer that he doesn't stick around.
Yeah, but he's good in this. He's real
this.
fun as the head. I think it's a huge, like, no disrespect to Anthony Hopkins, but like as a guy doing his job, this guy seems way better at his job.
Hopkins is great, but like Fishburne clearly is like along for all this. I guess going in through the supporting cast and everything. I mean, Benji Dunn, Simon Pegg. Thank God.
This was almost Ricky Gervais.
It's not Ricky Gervais.
Thank God
this is what I was going to say.
I don't think. I mean, for this movie, it would have worked. I think ultimately, but like there's no way he would have stuck around, and he could not do any of the things that Simon Pegg does later in this series.
Well, I also think when he's chatting with Tom and everything, and I think it is that scene with the full monologue. I don't know how you felt, but watching it, I was like, I'm feeling the series find its new other lead.
Yeah.
Like he clicks into the series in a way, like when you watch him bounce off of Ving and bounce off of Tom, that you're like, oh, here we go.
Like, this guy just belongs, guy. You know, like
it literally feels like he shows up and it's like, okay, great. This is a guy that's going to stick around.
Yeah. There's a great story that before he got cast in this, after Hot Fuzz came out and did like really well, everyone was like, so like, this is exciting. What do you want to do next? And he was like kind of downplaying it. Just like, guys, like, I know this did really well, but it's not like I'm going to be in Mission Impossible 3 next year. And then that's like what happened.
Love that.
And I'm like accidentally manifesting. So I think he did in Star Trek a little bit too. There was like, he had some comment about like every one of these ends up being shit. And then they were like, he's right. Like no one said this out loud, but he's right. Like, yeah, that's really funny. But
no, but he is a perfect addition.
Yeah.
He's a perfect addition. I'm so glad that they recognized that and they stuck him, along for the ride. I'm sure in the subsequent films and as we talk about them, we're going to talk more about how great Benji is.
Simon Pegg's just amazing in everything I've ever seen him in. I don't think he's ever turned in a bad performance.
No, I mean, not that at least that I've seen. I mean, I adore him. I think he's great in The Boys. He's not in it a ton.
He's not in it a ton, no.
But he's very...
I mean, like when they made that comic though, like Simon Pegg was the model for Huey. So
it was going to be him.
And so like there was a moment where he could have been him and then he just aged out of it. But that's okay. We got Jack Quaid, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Generally, all the people that we get in this movie are pretty much wins to varying degrees. There's no one that I see that I'm fully like get
Mhm.
them out of the movie.
Yeah.
I think the cast is pretty strong, even down to like the henchmen
The henchmen are pretty great.
for him are really
Eddie
good.
Marson, who's like in a bunch of things, and he's like in Sherlock Holmes and
Yeah.
all
Oh
that.
yeah.
He's
yeah.
a fun character actor and everything you see him.
It's always funny. I've seen this movie a handful of times now, and every time he pops up, I'm always like, "Oh yeah, that's right, he's in this."
Yeah.
And he's great in it. How do you feel about Michelle Monaghan and the whole and Ethan being married? I suppose.
I mean, it's one of those things. She's fairly underwritten. We've already said that enough.
Agreed.
But like,
Yeah.
I feel like as a function of like sort of grounding him, I think she does a really good job. I mean, just with what she has to do. But there was one moment though where they have that scene on the roof of the hospital when he's like, "I got to go away again for another couple days," and there's like a pause that is insanely long, where she's like, "Tell me this is real," and he's just like really quiet. And I was like, if I was trying to like find out if someone was like serious in a relationship with me and they waited that long to say words, I would just assume we were breaking up.
I like respect to Julia, right, as a character.
Yeah.
It is so I do not understand why if I were in her shoes, I would not be marrying Ethan in that hospital because
Probably
he is
not.
so when he tells her in the beginning that he has to go to a public transportation conference, that might be the most obvious lie I've ever heard in any movie.
When he wakes up dramatically,
Yeah.
like Hayden Christensen in the Sith away, like
I thought the exact
Revenge
same
of the
thing.
Sith.
Very Revenge of the Sith. But when he's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I have to go to a public transportation conference,"
And she's
I was
like, okay, yeah.
"That's such bullshit." That's so.
What if she just like sat up and she's like, "You're cheating on me," and he's like, "Whoa."
It's such a crazy lie. So when she's like, "Tell me this is real" or whatever, and he's like, "Do you trust me?" And it's like, I'd be like, frankly, no.
I think that's fair.
I don't think that I do. I'm not against us being together, but I don't know if we should get married in this hospital right now. It is a cute. I think the hospital marriage is cute.
I think it's cute. I think it works for what it is.
but it's crazy.
It is crazy that
It's a
she's
little
like,
crazy.
okay, like I'm in.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd feel the same way, but hey, you know.
Yeah, no, I think
to each their
I'm a
own.
huge fan of her, so I think it just like it ends
I
up
agree.
working.
Are you
but
watching White Lotus?
I'm not. Oh, she's in the
She's
season,
in
right?
season 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do I need to
she's
watch
so
the other
good.
seasons to 6? I haven't seen anything.
No,
from
there
it, but
are small, and I
Is it like-
emphasize small handful of returning characters. The show itself is meant to be an anthology, right?
Okay. Well, I should just watch the whole thing. I've heard amazing things.
But it's great. I don't think you need to watch the other 2 seasons. At least the point that we are at, I've only seen the first 2 episodes by the time we're recording this. But she is in it. She's great in it. It's a trio of they're like girlfriends that are on vacation,
okay,
and
that's
it's
fun.
her, Michelle Monaghan, it's Carrie Coon and Leslie Bibb, and it is
damn, that's great. That's a great.
the cast
trio.
is so good. Walton Goggins is in it. Parker Posey, Jason Isaacs,
Okay, those are
Natasha
2
Roswell. Like it's
I'm glad Walter Goggins is getting his like day in the sun right now
Amy
with
Lou Wood
everything,
from
but
Sex
like Parker
Education.
Posey needs like more credit. She's so
good in the
Superman
show.
Returns.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so White Lotus is great. She's great in it. And so I literally watched episode 2 of White Lotus and then went and immediately watched Mission Impossible 3. And I was like, God, yeah, Michelle Monaghan is so good. She's so good in this.
She's really good. If you ever seen the first season of True Detective, she's amazing.
I have
in
not
that.
seen actually True
It's that's a
Detective.
good. I have not seen the other seasons because I just haven't heard good things, and I'm a busy guy.
Hey,
Matt.
fair enough.
But
we're
that
watching
season
Mission
1 is
Impossible
awesome.
movies.
So one day I'll go catch up. But season 1 is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, so obviously we
jump
do.
back in. Yeah, we get the cute hospital scene. She decides to go and lock in for this marriage.
yes, she does. And I mean, again, the whole movie is kind of about we need to get this thing because if Davian gets it, he's gonna sell it to somebody, right? It's not ultimately like
Yeah, like the
what
world's not
Davian
in
is gonna
immediate
do.
danger, but I will say, I think I like the stakes being like, we just need to get this thing because if this guy gets it,
Yeah.
like who knows what'll happen. You
Talking
know, like,
again about Fishburne, his whole like he provides that monologue. I was like, dude, this is crazy. I've like not only is Hoffman such like a threatening performance, but
Mhm.
having people like Lawrence Fishburne being like, this guy's a fucking problem.
Like, this man is not quaking in his boots, but he's like, this man makes me quake in my boots. And I'm like, I did not believe you, but you're saying it out loud, and that takes courage.
Yes, yeah, it's yeah.
I'm like, that dude, you're tough as nails, and you're saying he makes you like shit, man.
But yeah, so obviously it's the race to get it right, and we get the great sequence where where Tom gets to play
Phillip Seymour Hoffman,
Hoffman.
where Phillip Seymour Hoffman is playing Tom Cruise.
Yes, and that the shot where they're putting the mask on.
I think that's so cool. Because
is
we've never
so
seen the
good.
mask go on. This is like the first time you ever see it.
It's the first time you see them get made too.
Yeah, no, they have a fun device.
Love the printing.
I love the printing. I think one of the reasons I like this so much is they like add context for some like classic mission
Totally.
stuff, and like in 2 they introduced the like there's like a sticky chip that you put on your throat,
Yes,
and stuff. But then in this one you find out how they program it, which is really fun.
That whole sequence in the bathroom where he's reading it,
and then it's like Phillip Seymour Hoffman doing Tom Cruise and level intensity is so fun. It's so fun.
The moment where he obviously it's where they're like I think it's the henchman that comes in and he's like, are you all good? Or is everything all right? And it cuts to Ving and he's like, everything is not all right. It's not done yet.
He's like, we're panicking over here.
And Philip doing the like cough and the like all that stuff with Jonathan Rhys Meyers like holding
behind the door.
Other Phillip Seymour Hoffman.
Cool. First time I saw this movie, I was like, this is the best.
Yeah, it's like, again, the action itself is not super memorable, but there are some scenes that are
there's a lot
strong.
of other scenes that are really strong, and I think like in the grand scheme, like it's like where the action is like it's competent, it's good, but it's like I think when you like compare it to like Matrix or 300 or like anything John Wick is doing, it's like there's not like really levels in the action, but then like when they're doing like cool spy shit is like they have all the stuff you need, and
the spy stuff is really
all the
cool.
it's just like they're just it's got the sauce, man.
I love
so cool
when Tom does the big jump at night, that they're shooting baseballs to like distract people. I think
Abby
all
turned
that
to me,
is
she was
really
like,
fun.
if I was working security and just that started happening, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, baseballs rain down from the sky.
I'm like, is it a local like little league? I don't know
what's happening. Oh my gosh, these guys have arms. This is crazy.
Like, I just patrol the roof. I didn't think I'd actually have to stop anyone from breaking in on the roof. What else we got? There's a lot going on in this movie, but in a good way.
Yes, I will say we talked about a lot of the dynamic between the characters I think is good. Some of the jokes sometimes land a little funny to me. They just feel a little like, specifically when they open. I think it's a funny joke, but when they open the car after the sequence. And
he's like, sup,
and he's like, what's up with you? And he's like, nothing. And then they go back down. Where I'm like, that feels a little not out of character. I don't want to go that far.
A little bit, but I could see Ethan doing that, wearing another man's face, like when you're like, I know you know.
Yeah, I'm Phillip Seymour Hoffman.
So I was gonna say, I think it's funny. I was gonna say this earlier, and then we kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit. But in between the first mission not going well and Kerry Russell dying, and then setting up the mission for breaking into the Vatican, you can see a moment where Ethan is like sitting there, and they're like, well, like, how are we gonna do this? And he like perks up, like, I know exactly how we're gonna break into the Vatican. And you're like,
I've been fucking
like,
waiting
homie's like,
for you
he's
to
like,
ask.
I know I retired, but I love doing this.
Ethan is such
this
a
whole
freak.
impossible mission thing. It's kind of my bag.
It feels like this is the point where the series starts to realize that Ethan is clinically insane.
She's so insane
that he is nuts,
and probably has like a crap load of concussions.
Yeah, he's one of those guys you gotta let him do his thing.
You gotta let him do his thing. I was gonna say there's a fun moment where they're doing like some. This is not related to like him like getting excited, but I just saw this note and I have to. When there was like a moment where they're like he's like flashbacking to training Kerry Russell, and it's really melodramatic. Abby was like, "Is this a Vertical series?" And I had to like pause the movie because I was laughing so hard.
It is
because it doesn't feel like that. Like, we used to train, but now I'm back, and I'm also getting married, but now she's dead, and now I have to save the world. Like,
it's a little melodramatic. It's a little too. I don't know. We almost lean a little too far the other way.
It's just got like a little bit too much sauce sometimes.
Yeah.
I think with like specifically these like little flashbacks. There's like one later, and it's like right when you lead into when we're catching up to like where the movie started with the cold open.
Yeah.
there's like he goes unconscious and he has like more like
Yeah.
fades. I'm with my woman, and it's just like, what the hell?
It's that thing where it's like this. It feels like honestly, in the hands of John Woo, I think it would work better.
Yeah, it's like
I think
it feels
he
like a
would know
carryover
the
from
tone
2. Yeah, it's
to
just
like make that click. But I think because we're doing kind of the like Jason Bourne kind of stuff,
yeah,
that
it's like
you're
we're still
just
like we're playing it really serious.
yeah, you're like, I don't really know what you're trying to.
Yeah, it's like the balance between like
tell me.
we're having fun watching this whole movie, but then it's like the movie itself is taking itself so seriously that it's like a little funny. And I think one of the things they get really right in the second one is that this is just fun.
Yeah.
That the job itself is like, yeah, we're gonna do an insane thing and it's stressful, but like that's the job. Like,
Yeah.
I think they say that in this one too. They start doing that's the job.
I think you're right.
There's like
yeah.
a version of it that Angela Bassett crushes in Fallout.
Oh yeah.
But we'll
I can't wait to talk about
we'll get to Bassett later.
one of the most iconic actors.
Yeah.
Also, again, Angela Bassett.
She's like, I'm taking over now. I'm in charge.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. We get the whole bridge sequence. The bridge sequence is pretty good.
Bridge sequence is good. I saw like when I was looking at some of the behind the scenes stuff, I saw one video that had it was like the best sequence for Mission Impossible 3, which I don't know if I agree with, but
Yeah.
But I think I'm just a sucker for the Vatican heist. I think that's just so fun.
It's fun.
Breaking in.
Spies are fun.
He's like, we're Italians. We've got a car stuck. Bun, dun, dun, dun. Now I'm a priest.
Love Tom Cruise in a silly disguise.
Yes. And
It's
he loves
so
his silly
good.
disguises.
He really
it's so
does.
fun.
And we get more of them. I can't wait to talk about the one in 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Tom Cruise being like I'm just a regular guy.
And he's like,
blah, blah.
grazie padre. Like,
Yeah.
he's like,
It's so good.
He's like, don't mind me. I'm just a regular priest. At
just
this
the
time.
most intense man in the world, being like, "What's up, everybody?
What's up? Yeah.
Don't take a second look." But yeah, so obviously he gets muzzled. Also,
get muzzled.
this is the first and I think the only time we see the IMF.
Yeah. We've never.
We're in the
we don't
IMF.
usually go to headquarters.
No.
In these. I think we go a little bit in Rogue Nation, but it's mostly just Renner being like,
Yeah.
Ethan, you can't do that. And then once they go in the field, they never go back because I think it's shut down like a second time.
Well, also we're always going rogue.
Gotta go rogue.
We always go rogue.
This
so
one
why
he
would
starts. He starts like on the nitty, and then he goes rogue.
we? Yes. Yeah. He gets caught in. I do again another thing of like the action itself maybe not too memorable, like the bridge sequence, car hit, all that stuff.
Yeah,
but when
the car hit, the thing is great.
Car
I think
hit
it
is
looks
good.
really fantastic. I just always forget what's going on in this. It's mostly like people shooting at things.
yeah.
I think, but like not with like a clear purpose, I guess. Like they're just mostly like just destroying as much things as possible.
Yeah, well, but again, it's something like we go from that, and then
But then there's that cool moment where they're like, "There's a G80, there's a G6 in the car, and he has to run back." And then there's a moment where he slides it out, and all I could think of was that it was like the Iron Man 2 like suitcase armor. And I was just like,
That'd
how
be
great if he
crazy.
was like, "I stole this from the other movie."
yeah, he's like the movie
It's
that
like
I was
tick, 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 tick.
developing before I did these movies. But we go from the action again into a scene that I think, just a general scene that I think is stronger, which is when Crudup is mouthing.
He's
to
like,
him.
"I'm giving you the real information through
I
the
think
lip
that's
reading." I think that's a cool
great.
detail because they do it earlier in like the party scene where he's like too far
Yeah,
to
he
actually
can
hear it. He's
hear.
just watching everyone talking and jumping in like an
Another
absolute
thing
psycho.
that's terrifying to have happen. Yeah, like you
Like,
said.
how did he hear that? I'd be like, your husband's kind of creepy. Are you sure
Yeah.
about this one?
If someone from 50 feet away was like, "Oh yeah, it was we were actually in Washington," like kind of a thing, you'd be like, "What the fuck? Like,
be
how
like-
are you listening
I'm
to
like, are
that?"
you part of this conversation, bro?
I'd be like looking under the like KitchenAid and being like, "Are there like, is this house bugged? Like,
Yeah.
what's happening?"
It's like the conversation.
Yeah,
She's just like at the
literally.
end, sadly playing saxophone.
Tearing the lazy boy in half and being like, "Where are the microphones? I know Tom Cruise is listening to me."
Yeah, they're in the like toys they got from the quarter machine, the gumball machine.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like that scene I find to be one of the highlights of the movie. You know what I mean? It's like one of
Yeah.
those moments where the movie's kind of clicking.
I think it's cool because again, I like the cool spy shit in this one, and I think
Yeah.
Billy Crudup is like really he's a fun addition.
He's playing the suit, right?
He's playing the suit. And then Ethan gets loose, does a version of the Winter Soldier elevator scene.
Pretty good elevator fight.
It's like a
I do
precursor.
think that
It's
one's
pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I do
We should
think
do a
that
top.
too.
We'll do a special episode, top 10 elevator fights.
I can only think of the two we just
I'm
named.
gonna find more.
I'm sure there
There's
are.
got to be more.
There's sure
There's
there
a
is.
Hobbs and Shaw has one.
Oh my God, does it? We saw that movie in theaters. I can't remember.
People hate that movie, but I had so much fun with it.
I have fun with it, but also, I mean, just I was literally talking about the Fast and Furious movies today.
Yeah.
Earlier today, that I was talking to a friend, and I was like, if you sit down knowing that you're about to watch Saturday morning cartoons, you're gonna have the best time of your life.
That's a good way to describe it.
Like,
I got too excited. I gotta calm down.
Fast and Furious will do that to you. It's all about family.
Make me destroy everything. Conversation style.
But yeah, but the elevator fight is pretty good. Obviously, he goes
pretty good. He's muzzled, like you said, like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, crazy.
I think the escape is fun, and then we get like my favorite reveal, but it's only on a personal level, and I know you'll agree with me. Our acting teacher, William Francis McGuire, aka Bill, is in this movie as an MI assistant. He's like Lawrence Fishburne's like right hand man, I guess.
He pops in.
Yeah, he kicks the door down at the walking. He's like, Ethan's on the move.
It's so funny to hear. Obviously, yeah. So his professional name is William Francis McGuire.
Yeah, Bill.
We know him as Bill, so we're just going to refer to him as Bill.
Yeah.
To hear Bill be running around and being like, he must have gotten into the mainframe.
He's got some sick lines in this movie. It's so fun.
He's delivering all this spy stuff, and I adore it. Like, because, you know, I flash back to us in like a acting classroom, and he's talking about oh my gosh, like I can't remember her name right now. He's talking about Kathy Bates, you know, and he's talking about how much he loves Kathy Bates and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and then Meryl, all those conversations.
And, well, we've talked about this. I think we were in his class at different points in time.
Yeah, we did.
He's talked about this movie and that he had a really good time.
I think he basically got to just follow Lawrence Fishburne around for like 3 days.
Literally my dream.
I'm like, that sounds awesome. I'm like, I did that and got a restraining order, and he got paid to do it.
He said he got to talk with Tom, and I don't mean to be literally speaking out of school and like telling Bill's stories, but I mean. This movie is like even more enjoyable for me. It's so
fun. I remember one time this came on like on TNT, and I just was like on vacation somewhere, like in the middle of the night, and I flip through the channels, and I stick it on. I'm watching it because I'm like, yeah, that was a good movie. Like, and then I completely forgot he was in it, and then he kicks the door down, and I was like, oh, it's my teacher.
The moment when Tom, he's like running, he puts the walkie-talkie or whatever, he puts it up against the stereo.
That's fun.
And the music starts to play, and it's Bill and Lawrence fucking Fishburne, and that like look that they give to each other of like, are you shitting me that he's doing this?
It's like playful, too playful.
Unbelievable. He like, yeah, when he pops into the movie, I smile.
It brings me so much joy.
I love seeing Bill in this, especially because it's like he's a guy that we both learned a lot from and love.
Yeah, it kind of set us up. Like, I think that's part of our journey.
Some of my
to here.
Best acting advice I ever got in my entire life was from William Francis McGuire, and I'm forever grateful for that. And the fact that he's in a series of movies that we both is probably one of our favorite series.
One of my favorite series
of all time. Just makes it even better.
It's so good. It's just like the cherry on top.
Honestly, like I was excited to talk about this whole series of movies. One of the big reasons was that we get to talk about Bill.
Yeah.
Bill's the best.
He's the best.
You know, I love him. I love him. I love him.
Anyway, Bill, if you're watching this, we love you.
Yes, everyone, just give some love to the great William Francis McGuire. He's such a good actor.
He's such a good. My favorite acting advice he'd always give right before we'd go do anything, where it was like a competition or like a scene. He'd just like come over and be like, "Have fun." Like he'd just look at you serious, and then just have fun.
He's such he's
You'd
so
walk
perfect.
away without another word.
I took I'll leave it at this. I took a class with him where he was also discussing Broadway to film adaptations, and boy, I loved watching Bill like talk about musical theater. It was so fun to get it. We talked about a movie that we both love as well, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
Really good remake.
I love that movie, and so does Bill. And we got to chat about that. Like he's great. I wish he was in more of this movie.
I wish he was
pops
too.
in, and
he pops in and he does like it's just
he gets to do stuff. He's not just like hanging out. And yeah, I mean to get to run around with Lawrence Fishburne, is the coolest thing in the world.
That's a cool story to hear about. But yeah, no, that the whole sequence where he's escaping Ethan Hunt and then everything, and we get our Bill
and Ethan Hunt we talked about it a little bit ago. In another silly disguise.
Another
with,
silly
the
disguise.
And the mutton
hipster Romanian.
Oh my god! This one. I literally, my note is yet another silly disguise. I'm in love.
Abby just was like, Ew. He's just got like pubes on his face.
It's a crazy look. It's an insane thing.
Crazy but effective.
Deeply effective. Yeah.
You're like, what if I was so disgusting no one looked at me? Just like I refuse to look at that.
And then obviously he reconvenes back with the team in this apartment in Shanghai.
Yeah.
I do like we reference Langley when we talk about the jump. He's like, this is even harder than Langley. I do think it's funny that we do not reference the jump in Mission Impossible 2, which was also objectively pretty difficult because you had 40 seconds.
Yeah, like 40 seconds
shut.
to get the cable in and out.
But I do think it's funny that the movie itself is being like, we're just going to talk about the first one.
You all like the first one more, right? Yeah. Okay. Done.
Langley.
Langley. We're doing Langley. That's mission. That's what everyone talks about. Yeah, it's like I think it's fun that like this whole sequence is just getting into the building. You don't really get to see what's beyond it. 'Cause it would just probably be a regurgitation of 2 where he's just sneaking around, opening doors and things.
Yeah,
but like so it's fun that it's like we're gonna do like a fun. I got a parachute and all that, and then he just comes crashing through the window later.
Love him crashing through. Love him on the ground when he thinks the car is gonna hit him.
I was like,
and he puts his hand up to brace, and there's that look in his eyes of like.
That was it. That's like the closest I think he's actually come to death in this series.
I 100% agree. That is the look of a man who was like, I just escaped death.
Literally. It's like, and I jumped off an exploding helicopter under a moving train once.
Well, again, it's that thing of humanizing Ethan Hunt of like kind of bringing him back down to earth where it's like, he does all this absolutely bonkers shit.
Yeah.
And then the moment with the car is you get this like connection again where he's like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, I can't believe that I'm actually doing this like kind of a thing.
I should have stayed retired.
Yeah, he should have just instructed people. I can't believe I'm back in the
like
field.
Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Kinda, yeah.
But not actually. Tom Cruise doesn't age. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall.
So we move into that car chase. This car chase is okay.
It's fine. It's
not
pretty,
that interesting.
I think we've seen better car chases in other movies, which is not to knock it. It's completely competent. I think it's
better
cool
ones in this series.
There's better ones in this series. That's just I think the reality, especially getting into the McQuarrie era where they're like
two
incredible
great ones,
both like in Italy, I think.
Yeah, they're in like different parts of Italy, I think.
Yeah, which is so funny.
Because I remember, we're
globetrotting. Where have we not been? Back to Italy.
Yeah, I guess we're going back to Italy.
The series goes to Italy like 3 different times.
Yeah, just different parts. Because I know we'll get into Dead Reckoning, but Cruise is like, oh, I've never been here.
Yeah.
But which is crazy.
Haven't done that yet.
But yeah, the car chase again. It's like fine, but
cool.
I'm more
and it's fun
locked
when he like
in.
hangs outside of the car. It's just it's just that thing of like. It's just like it's good.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's fine.
Just like rip. That's all I have to say on it. I guess
we're in a car chase.
It's a car chase.
It's a car chase.
But your first time director is still pretty good.
Yeah. We should not preface, but I should stress
not to diss.
This is your first
Abrams,
movie,
but
you've got room.
And like when I first saw this movie, I was locked in. I just
totally.
I think I'm spoiled by like more insane sequences from other movies and stuff, especially like we talked about John Woo a lot last week. Like it's just like that dude. If you watch the chase at the end of Face Off, it's just like that's like a masterclass in a chase. Like
totally. I don't think the action is ever. I'm never like bored by it.
No.
But I'm just not. It's just clear that there could be more room to grow.
Yeah,
it's
just not the strongest part of the movie, and that's not even to say that it's bad. It's just not the strongest.
I'm more locked in with them talking.
Honestly, yeah.
That's the stuff
conversations.
Where I'm like, let's go.
I feel like the character relationships are all really fantastic, which is something you don't really have in the first 2.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you do in the first one a little bit, but it's like a lot of like all my friends are dead, so like I'm on my own, and the second one is like, well, Ving is here, and then the other guy is like,
they're hanging out.
Don't know who you are.
Yeah, I've never met you. Won't
Simon
see you again.
Pegg proto.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just literally holding the spot until Simon Pegg can actually show up.
I find it.
We're waiting for Hot Fuzz. Is what they said with that.
I will say the car hit. I know we said is the stunt. We gotta say, for me, I think the real stunt is that long shot of Tom just fucking running.
That's incredible.
It goes
shot. It's so
and
like
goes
you don't
and
think.
goes, and when you think it's done, he's still going.
Yeah, he's like running for like 2 minutes straight or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was watching a behind the scenes on it today. Do you know how they filmed that?
No.
They used the technology they used for Spider-Man that they invented, the Spider Cam. The shots, how they got like the web
Love
singing
it.
in like the city.
Yeah,
It's
through New
basically
York.
like a camera, like on a. You can actually see it like in the NFL now. They have the Spider Cam for some crazy. You'll just see like what looks like a drone on cables being dragged around. That's the Spider Cam, and they used
it.
that like in that sequence, and it's like that's really really clean.
I will say, yeah, that shot is fantastic.
It's cool. It's so
it's
cool.
so like obviously in how steady it is, but just again, it's like I think the Mission Impossible movies are at their best, and we'll certainly get into them in the next episode and subsequent episodes when we are in a wide shot and we're just letting Tom do something crazy.
Yeah.
Every time we do that, it's like the best part of the movie. And I watched this movie with my little sister prior to watching it for this podcast, and when that running shot happens, she was like, "Is he still going?" I was like, "Yeah,
Dude's just hauling it.
he's
across
the best.
town to save the love of his life.
He's the living manifestation of destiny. I don't know why you can't
Sidewinding
understand
vampire.
this." Yes, exactly. He's the best.
Yeah, no, that sequence is really fun. I think the whole, yeah, just that like escape, like he's got to, because like what does he do? He bites Billy Crudup's hand to escape, but he gets like the paper clip, I think,
Yes.
something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. He gets something from something and he escapes.
Yeah.
Classic Mission Impossible franchise. Then he's just hauling ass.
Love him having to. I maybe I'm jumping around a little bit. I mean,
a little bit. It's all right.
yeah.
I'm jumping around too.
Him making his own defibrillator,
That's cool.
I think, is really fun.
How do you feel about the reveal that Michelle Monaghan's not dead?
I don't
Is
know.
it like a fake out?
I mean, it's part of the series, so I kind of I'm like cool with it because it's like masks are like
Yeah.
the whole thing, and the movie isn't. It's not like 2 where we're like revealing a mask every
No, it's
30
not.
seconds.
I think it's a good mask reveal moment. It's just like funny to me because it is like that thing of like we have like been setting up so strongly that she is dead, and then it's like
that poor other girl.
JK.
Like-
it's like it literally just feels like they got to it and they're like, so what happens? And they're like,
She was in a mask.
It's not. It's a mask.
Yeah. It's like, but someone's still dead, right? And he's like, well, yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like they do kind of write themselves into a corner
I
a
do think
little
it's
bit.
funny. They're like, it's like, so the big reveal is Billy Crudup is the bad guy. Lawrence Fishburne had nothing to do with this, and also like your wife's not dead. We didn't kill her.
Yep.
And it's like, well, why is she not dead? And they're like, well, we just wanted to prove that you actually gave us the rabbit's foot, so we're literally just tormenting you
Yeah.
on purpose.
Again, it feels like they've kind of written him into a corner,
A little
especially
bit,
with
which I think is
Damien
like
being
funny, and
like,
I'm like, I feel like I think that's where I struggle with is like I don't think Damien
would do that.
would do. I think he would just kill her.
Yeah, you're right. You're
I like that
100%
she
right.
survives though. I don't want her dead, but
Yes,
I am like
100%.
it is a thing of like, yeah, it's just you kind of backed yourselves up into a corner there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Got really
No.
excited.
I'm with you on that. It is wild to me how, speaking of character deaths, how quickly we kill Owen Davian and Billy Crudup's
Yeah.
character. They do. There is something about it that I think is interesting. Like I don't think it's bad, but they don't get like like a Hans Gruber kind of.
No, they don't. It's
you
just like
know.
bam, you hit with a car, and then like bam,
Like
bullet to
even
the head.
like John Voight is pretty quickly gone at the end of 1, but he like dies because like a helicopter sandwiches him into an explosion.
Yeah.
Like it's like a
He's
crazy
caught between
event.
the third rail and a large exploding helicopter.
Yeah, it's like helicopter blows up. That's
While
it's gonna
being
get
dragged
ya.
by a speeding train to the channel.
Yeah, and like in this one, it's like they are shot
and then
or they're hit by a car.
two is like it's not just the guy gets shot. It's like kick flips pistol out of the
Yeah.
dirt and
It's the
360
coolest-
no scope into the.
It's a
into
little
the kill.
more clinical. I
Yeah, and this one's a little
suppose,
bit like
for lack
it's
of
just
a better
like
term.
we're coming to the end of it and bam bam da da.
He's done.
We did it.
Yeah, it does wrap up kind of quick.
And then we got to do some CPR, which I don't think would work if your heart stopped. I think she should electrocute him again, probably, right? Is that how that works?
Oh,
I'm not a medical.
Do we have time for me to call my sister, who's a nurse?
CPR can work.
CPR can work.
We're getting info from the producer.
What I think we've learned today is nobody turn to us in an emergency situation. We do not know what to do. We talk about movies on the internet.
Like, is there a doctor? And I'm like, I've seen House.
I was a Boy Scout. I retained none of that knowledge.
We're getting the thumbs up. He Googled it. CPR could work, and we set up that she is a doctor. She could do this.
That's true. She knows much more than we do.
And of course, she has like the power of she has the super fist, like where she just starts hitting his.
That's
in the
right.
Heart.
And the power
Breathe,
of
damn
love.
you.
She's
like Larry the Lobster, just like breathe, bam.
My sister's gonna be so disappointed in me that I didn't know CPR. She's literally a nurse.
Do you think she's doing the rhythm of Staying Alive or Pink Pony Club?
I hope it's the Mission Impossible theme. She's going
like bum 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 bum. The only thing, because the other two actually, it's a trick question. The other two would not work on Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt. It has to be the Mission Impossible theme.
I do love that we've learned that Pink Pony Club is also the rhythm,
I
right?
know.
Isn't that
I'm doing Pink Pony Club from now on.
I would too. Well, yeah, it's Pink Pony Club. Yeah, I can do that thing.
Pony Club. Yeah.
But yeah, the Mission Impossible theme would be fun, especially doing the like that. You're just like pounding.
You have to massage it first. You gotta.
Oh my god. My sister. I'm gonna get an angry call from my sister. She'd be like, what are you doing?"
Again, don't take medical advice from us, but I think the correct answer is Staying Alive for Pink Pony Club.
Yes, it is.
Dealer's choice. If I have a heart attack.
Yeah, well, again, don't turn to us in the emergency situation unless that situation is who plays the guy next to Lawrence Fishburne in Mission Impossible 3.
And they're gonna be like, is there a doctor in the house? And I'll be like, I saw Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Hey, that's a movie.
That's a movie.
Brian Cox.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I just watched it like 2 nights ago.
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
It's a good time.
I was going to recommend it off air, but now we're talking about it.
No, I watched it in like 2021. It was like right as like I just remember sitting there and being like, "Oh, like."
No, I watched it right after this one. We did. It's so funny. We had to. Abby and I were just watching movies all day, which is always the highlight of my life. Where we're just literally watching movies. We watched like 4 or 5, but we watched Mission Impossible 3.
Nice.
Then we watched The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Nice.
And then we watched The Family Affair, which the previous movie had an actual corpse in it that had more emotion.
Yeah, one of those is not like the other two.
I was like, okay, so we got like 3 corpses and then like an actual corpse, like in the previous one, somehow doing more.
Kathy Bates in Family Affair.
Kathy Bates. This came
it's
full
nice
circle.
When her and Nicole Kidman are on the screen. There are things. No disrespect to the other actors.
But it is
I don't think that movie's bad.
No, I don't think that movie. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just the thing of like, it's just like the, not to like dog anyone with plastic surgery, but it is just like, whoa. Everyone's real tight in this one.
It is one of those ones where I'm also like, it's crazy the cinematic landscape we were in, to use a term, because I watched A Family Affair and I was like, this should be in theaters because this would make money.
It probably would have made money.
It's that thing of like,
no, everyone's like good in the movie. It's just kind of like I don't know. It's just I don't think the movie worked for me. I think, but I couldn't objectively say I hated it.
Not to talk about a different movie and not to talk about that movie being A Family Affair while we're talking about Mission Impossible 3. Mm-hmm. My theory with that movie, it being shot on digital, is a big problem with it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the love, and this is such a film bro thing, I'm so sorry to everybody who's listening to me right now. But I think the texture of film and the warmth that provides, I think it really does add a quality.
They should have shot it in VistaVision.
Let's do it. Shoot it in 3D. I don't care. Go crazy.
But like not Avatar 3D, like Jaws the Revenge 3D.
I think, oh my God. Oh my God.
Just some like blue and yellow or blue and red glasses.
It's just great.
Like that one guy from Back to the Future.
Hell yeah. You know what his name is?
Billy Zane.
I'm pretty sure it's just 3D, I think is what they call him.
No, Billy Zane's the other one, right?
Yes.
God bless Billy Zane.
But I think if that movie is shot on film, I think it gives the vibe of the movie that it's trying to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of what it is, it is attempting to be. And I don't think I'm saying that the movie's a masterpiece and that digital has ruined it. I just think there's a quality that those movies
like a
need.
Texture that would give it.
Yeah, the fact that it looks like it's like, the fact that it's so crisp
Thanks for
I
joining
feel
us
like
in
we
this
lose
episode
it.
of The Family Affair.
Yeah, thanks guys for sticking around with us. But jumping back, we're basically
I think we've hit
wrapped
all
up.
the beats and stuff.
Love the IMF joke.
Yeah. Yes.
Where
Because
he
this
gets
is the
to
first time they've
say-
actually said the name of the organization out loud, and they've
Yeah.
just stuck with the acronym for 2 movies.
You do have to. I mean, IMF is a great acronym. Impossible Mission Force is silly.
Abby looked at me the way Michelle Monaghan looks at Ethan Hunt, like, you're joking, right? And
That's the name?
that's the company.
Yep, that's the
what
name.
it is.
Well, Dead Reckoning has an even better yes and to this, where they're like breaking down the conceit of this series.
Carrie Elvis is really good at
I
that
can't
scene.
wait to talk about that scene.
Well, yeah, I can't wait.
But yeah, I do think it's a nice wrap up. It's interesting. I think, the movie is kind of asking, it's almost trying to ask the question of like, can Ethan Hunt live a normal life?
Yeah.
Can he exist? Like,
Which I think the answer is no.
the answer is no, but the
But
movie at
this
the
one-
end is kind of saying yes.
Yeah, the movie wants you to think yes, but then literally in 4
the
they're
next
like,
movie, it's like,
no, we were horribly wrong about that.
yeah, because at the end, it's
Ving Rhames was right. You should not have done any of this.
it's at the end of the movie, it's slow motion and everybody hugging and
Yeah, which I think
gonna
is
go on
fun.
my
Everyone's like
honeymoon, all that
cheering
stuff.
them out. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's actually like really fun. Like,
It feels like, and it
feels like a season finale of something. You know,
interest. Well, it's a TV guy.
it is a TV guy.
a TV
We
guy.
got a good like
Um,
final episode of the season. We're not done, but we'll see you next year.
I think it's a nice ending. It is just that thing where it's like it
Yeah.
feels, it. I guess kind of running into the question of would we need one more? It really does feel like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Which I think the intent was to continue to do more.
Yeah, it was. I think
Um,
there was just such a gap, or maybe I think this one kind of underperformed to a degree.
Yeah, it still did well.
It did well because like at $150 million made 398. Like I think
Yeah.
those are for the franchises.
Is that worldwide?
Those are worldwide. It's under what 2 made, which
Sure.
which was 546,
Well, kind of
and
teasing.
then 1 also made 500. So this didn't crack
Sure.
500.
Which
But so I think I could see why they were like, oh, and we're gonna do another one, but we're less confident, I think, after this one.
well, especially after the stuff that happens with Cruise kind of in the public eye after
Yeah,
this.
I think that.
They do kind of, and we'll talk about it in the next episode, that there is a door that they leave open in the terms of Ethan Hunt no longer being the protagonist of this series.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my gosh.
But the world needs Ethan Hunt.
The world, he is the living manifestation of destiny. How many more times do I have to say this and for Alec Baldwin to whisper it?
A sidewinding vampire.
Yes, exactly.
That's such a good line. I'm going to look up all of them for the next episode.
Overall, though, I think this movie's really successful.
I think it works. I think it's I think it's underrated in a way, but at the same time, I think just because of how good these are about to start getting, like, it's a
little silly.
It's a little silly. I think it's a little over the top. It takes itself pretty seriously.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's all part of the charm
I agree.
of it, you know? It's just, it all works for me. Like, it's like, even like with the action not being like super, like I guess like being sort of like the least interesting part of the movie, but it's still very competent. So
I remember, and not to open a can of worms here, but I remember Chris Evans having a quote about the MCU at a certain point that he said, when you go into a Marvel movie, you don't ask the question if it's going to be good, you ask the question how good.
Yes.
And I think that's not that it's not apt for that series or to be, conservative about it, like the series at that time.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And like in regards to this movie, where it's like, I'm not saying this movie's bad when I say it's the second to last on my ranking.
Would you say it's the best one since Endgame though?
Well, listen, what I think we need to know is that they're all the best movies since Endgame, the best movies since The Dark Knight.
Yes.
And that we're back, but we're also done.
Yes. And from the man who brought you Training Day.
That's right. That's right. I love you know what, it's really nice. It's always nice to know that every 3 months we're back.
We're back.
I see
We're
another
back.
tweet where it's like, guys, we're back, and it's like, were we not back 3 months
I
ago?
thought we were back. No? Okay, we're back again.
Here's my theory. Sometimes some things are bad and sometimes they're good.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my theory.
Hey, that's a good theory.
Things come out, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're good.
That's better than my theory.
The Marvel run was unprecedented. So it's kind of a hard thing to recreate.
Yeah. I'll keep my theory out of it. Never fry bacon while you're naked.
Interesting. Well, it rhymes. Right?
Yeah, yes. Maybe.
I think.
M&M orange door hinge
I
kind of
feel
way.
like I am proving to the listeners that I'm kind of dumb in this episode.
We gave great medical advice, I think.
That's true. Yeah, do CPR to the Mission Impossible theme.
Don't actually do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Jesus Christ, don't do that. Don't do that.
We're getting waved off. We
Yeah.
gotta stop doing that. No, Staying Alive, Pink Pony Club. That's
Yes,
all I need to know.
those are the ones.
But the
Watch
more
The
important
Office.
question is, Matt, going from 3,
Yeah.
do you need one more?
I think it's a soft yes in the sense of I would love to see more because Mission Impossible rules.
Demonstrate the soft yes for me.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, cool.
Thank you. Hey, I'm an actor. Yes, for your line reading.
I was like expecting like a yeah.
Yeah. Well,
like a Jeff Bridges Tron Legacy, like yeah.
No, I think it's one
Did
of those
I make
ones.
the most perfect mission movie? Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones where, the story feels like it's kind of wrapped itself up, and that it's like Ethan's it does the kind of off into the sunset.
It's a
Last
good,
Crusade
it's a good
kind of
episode. If
thing.
they never did another one, you'd be fine. But
Yeah.
like this, it's like he's still out there.
It's also the third one. It's the trilogy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's
trilogies are kind of a thing. So it's like we could have stopped here. I'm glad we didn't.
Very glad we did.
But if I'm in the audience at that moment, I'm going, hey, if you do another one, that'd be fun.
No, like
But-
I'm like yes, because I just like these movies. I love
Sure.
spy shit. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take another one. I think this one's really great. So
yeah,
I say yes.
fair enough.
Cool.
I have good news for you. They made 7 more of them. They made a ton more.
Boom.
They're
No.
still making. Oh my god, 5.
Five big booms.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it,
5
is to
booms.
give 5 big booms.
Sorry about your brother-in-law. Sorry he had cancer. So 5 big booms
I-
for his brother.
Cannot believe we're referencing that on the podcast, and I'm glad that we are. When you need to do CPR, just give 5 big booms.
5 big booms.
Oh god.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's 5, right?
And they're back.
I can't count and do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So
But so, yeah,
So
that's Mission Impossible.
probably should start wrapping up the episode there. I think everyone's tuned us out now.
Yeah, probably right.
All right. Well then, any
I'm
final thoughts or
My final thought is I can't wait to go Ghost next week.
you're going ghost?
We're going Ghost,
going
man.
Ghost.
Ghost Protocol is
Didn't think
about
we
to
were
be
gonna do that.
enacted. We're gonna light the fucking fuse.
We're gonna
man.
go rogue in the best possible way
I cannot wait.
with the authority of the secretary.
With Tom Wilson telling us it's okay
Yes.
and drawing a strangely accurate portrait of someone in our palm.
Yes.
Yes.
We have coming up. We got mustaches.
Yes.
Self-parking cars.
Yes. Yes.
Windows.
Yes. All of that's there. Bye,
I
guys.
got it.
We
So,
record these
next
late.
week. Yes.
We record them late.
We record them late, but we'll see y'all next week for Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. We'll ask the question, do we need one more?
Let's do it.
Mm,
I'm ready.
yes.
Thank you for listening to We Need One More.
Be sure to follow us on socials like TikTok and Instagram at WNOM Podcast to stay up to date on upcoming episodes.
And feel free to join our Discord community where you can share your thoughts on the movies we're watching together. That's going to be at WNOM Podcast server with the link in the bio.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That's the best way to support the show and to let us know that you need one more.
We'll see you next week. This podcast is produced by Pilot 9 and 9 Ball Creative.